Hi, my name is Sheila. Welcome to part four, where we are taking a look at the letter that Elizabeth Holmes' partner, Billy Evans, sent to the court in preparation for her sentencing hearing. I have done one through three. You guys can go back and take a look at them, but this is part four. We're going to jump right in. I think this is the one where he talks about love, or he calls it on love, or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't read it. Okay, it's our love. And we're going to go through this together and then have our discussion at the end, as you know, if you've been following along. It is hard to distill what Liz means to me. I have struggled to adequately convey it. She is my whole life, my mentor, my guide during the darkest times of self doubt and inadequacy. She approaches my greatest mistakes with the same as my limited triumphs, with an unwavering love and gentle touch. Liz is so focused on our family, on building a future not only for my son and myself, but the inclusion of our original nuclear families as well. Family is incredibly important to Liz and me. We speak with our parents daily, and Liz does everything to include the new grandparents in, and this part looks like they've redacted the son's name, in the son's life. Liz captures the small moments of our everyday life with such joy, not just the first moments of note, but the ordinary ones. Liz finds the amazing in these everyday moments and doesn't take it for granted. She captures 50 or so photos a day, comments on them, and sends sets to each of the grandparents with photos she knows will bring the most joy to each of them, because she realizes the extent to which this legal battle wears on them and wants to bring them happiness. Liz's parents live in DC and mine in Southern California. But each day they see their grandson smiling and laughing as he learns and navigates the world. Liz has done this each day of the last year through court, breastfeeding, late nights with a sick baby, and early mornings braving the paparazzi, not out of obligation, but because she knows how much it means to our parents to be a part of our lives, especially after having limited relationship with her family during her relationship with Sonny. This has been true from the beginning of our relationship. Early on, she helped me mend a relationship with my brother that needed love and patience that I didn't possess. We had fallen on rocky times when I met Liz. My brother was largely estranged and going through hard things. I wanted to help, but I had lost hope in my ability after dozens of failed attempts. I am embarrassed to say that I and much of my family had given up. But giving up simply is not in Liz's DNA. She worked to build her own relationship with Rex. She loved him, listened to him, and brought him back into our lives. My closeness to my brother is all thanks to her. I cry when I think of how close I was to losing him. I am reminded by this as I just returned from the first trip we took together in over 8 years. We spent 7 days rafting down the Colorado River, and it was perfect. I am so proud of the man he has become, in no small part because of Liz's determination and patience. All right, well, there you have that part. And yeah, I don't know that I really have a whole lot to say about it. I sure hope you guys got to see that part and I didn't just like not show it to you, but if so, then you got to hear me read it. Um yeah, I don't know that I have a whole lot to say about that. I can imagine that it was really, really hard and difficult for him, not having a family member that he loves and not knowing what the pathway was, what the journey needed to be for him to take in order for them to rebuild that relationship. It sounds like he struggled deeply with that, and that she helped him with that. And actually it almost sounds like he's saying she didn't just help him with it, she led the way, and it made it possible for him to come on board and follow along and then move to this place of grace where he could start to rebuild that relationship. So it sounds like that is a good thing. It can be difficult to watch other people vilify, and I'm going to use that word because that's the word he used in part one, to vilify someone you love when that's what you see a person doing, when your life with that person has been just good. You've seen all of the good things, the great and wonderful things that that person is done. It can be hard to accept that this person may have done some things that others characterize as not so good. We don't really want to step into that reality as easily. It's harder to take that journey, right? I can imagine that he struggled and that he is now very thankful that he had her in his life to help this take place. Because by himself, I think he's struggling with saying whether or not it would have happened, whether or not he would have been able to rebuild that relationship with his brother. Now, let me also talk about the grandparents for a moment there, because grandparents love pictures. Grandparents get to the point where they don't care about the kids anymore. They only care about the grandkids. Like, when are the grandkids coming? What are the grandkids doing? When are the grandkids having a party? Can I come see the grandkids? Like, the grandkids are it. So I can imagine too that for the grandparents, especially with so much having gone on with theranos, that maybe for them this offers a piece of calm back into their lives. Maybe they can see some goodness through the grandkids. And I'm not really going to critique this section. I don't know that there's a whole lot, that I can say that is different from what he said, because he talked mostly about what happened and his feelings with his brother and how she led the pathway on that. There's really nothing for me to add to that. So I'm going to jump into part five. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you've been following along, if you've been learning a little bit more about the whole person of Elizabeth Holmes, even after the fact, even if you just want to do the vilification and say I hate her or whatever it is you want to say. And I can't understand how she did that, Sheila. And of course, now anybody wants to be good. I can hear you saying that. I can hear people saying that, Well, of course she wants to be good now. Of course she wants to donate time to courses now. Of course she wants to be the model daughter and send pictures to her family now, because she's getting ready to be sentenced and she has to, go to court. And of course, this was before the sentencing was actually done. So people were like, yeah, once you've been caught, this is the critique. I said I didn't really have a whole lot to say, but I'll say this because I can imagine that some people are thinking this. Once you get caught, at that point, it's easier to like do good, right? But before, when nobody was really, looking and you were doing your thing that was not so good, you could have chosen to do things differently then. You could have made different decisions. So I can imagine some people are saying, well, yeah, she's getting ready to go to jail. She wants to decrease her time. Of course, she's going to be doing all of these wonderful things. But there you have it. A fuller picture is all I'm presenting. I'm only sharing his letter, and we can talk about what this means in the context of anybody who may have done something wrong and maybe, is trying to find a pathway forward. All right. Give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Mwah. Peace.